It is time to put your best foot forward and kick off your shoes. Our next guest says the benefits of going barefoot are terrific. Dr. Ariane Mismer is here to tell us more about how the feet are our foundation and why we should get grounded. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so I was thinking about this as I was kind of doing my research, and I lived in Miami for a
Yeah.
long time, and I was always, barefoot or just wearing, slippers. And I loved it. And my feet don't want to be in shoes. My toes want to be free. Talk about being barefoot and why it's important.
Yes, absolutely. So we actually have 104 different small nerves in the bottom of our feet. So what's so important is these small nerves respond to different stimuli. So things like texture and vibration and skin stretch. So when you're barefoot, you get to actually feel all those things. And that's what actually helps us move efficiently, balance efficiently, and walk efficiently. So it's so important to train the skin and stimulate the skin on the bottom of the feet.
And what are some of the things we can do when we're barefoot?
Yeah, so one of the things is to ditch the socks and shoes and begin to just go barefoot at home more intentionally. So I always recommend just starting slowly, maybe 5 minutes a day is a great starting point. And we want to think of socks and shoes actually block this information. So the more that we're wearing them, even slippers are actually are delaying or making this information inaccurate that's coming into our nervous system. The second thing we can do is a foot release. So this is a daily foot release that's really easy to do in the morning and at night. This is a Novoso technology ball, so it's actually a textured ball. So what you can do is just a simple foot release where you're just holding different spots on the foot. So you can start with just the front of your foot, the back of your foot, the inside, and the outside, and just holding them for about 30 seconds or so. It's a great way to do it. And then lastly is making sure that your shoes are going to enhance your natural foot function, not replace it. So we want to think of, as you mentioned earlier, is we want to be able to splay the toes out. So most shoes are really, really narrow in the toe box. So we want to make sure there's a nice wide toe box that the shoe can twist and turn, because that's what the foot is meant to do. And there's also not a lot of cushions. We often think of more cushion is better, but more cushion means we actually strike the ground harder. So it's really important to think of just a shoe that's enhancing your foot function, not replacing it.
Oh, wow. Those are some really cool tips. Can you tell us more about the benefits? And you call this grounding.
Yeah, so one of the things that I always like to speak to my patients about is that by the age of 40, we actually have our peak sensitivity in our feet. But by the age of 70, we need twice as much stimulation. So that's what accounts for a lot of the falls that are associated in our geriatric population. Now, as it relates to grounding, that's where we're going outside in contact with the earth, and we're getting the electrical charge from the earth, and that has profound impact on inflammation, on our sleep, pain levels, and we only need about 15 to 40 minutes to achieve those benefits of just having our feet or even our hands in contact with the ground.
So, doctor, are you saying that if we start taking care of our feet, maybe trying some of this, barefoot exercises, can we achieve like wellness all over our bodies?
Absolutely, yes, from an emotional standpoint and from a physical standpoint, because all of this, we always say life is sensory, so all of the sensory information is passing through our nervous system, so it's influencing our emotions as well.
And how soon have some of your clients, your patients, seen a difference when they've started some of this practice?
So very quickly, a lot of my patients, if they're experiencing neurological issues or balance issues, as soon as they begin to intentionally stimulate their feet, they can see benefits in their walking, their movement, their connection to the ground very, very quickly.
All right, Dr. Ariane Mismer, thank you so much for that information. I'm just going to kick my shoes off now. If you want more on the barefoot benefits, check out the movement paradigm on Instagram.